10th of December, 2025. Still, we are in the Christmas mood. Make sure say the way be able to Hi, Nsem on Adom 106.3 FM. Medical culture say Kane Menshia South Mashibigani. Kane education minister, Anafi energy minister, Anafi Obo era Dr. Mahmoud Echidom so kokra. Make us say nipa make us Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh Anna menene betwetwe nkomo enewuku December ne den tonso edu privilege me sure so I crowd because a lot of issues wa person nya akwanya na busa Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh nti se bre bemu dia obenya sa akwanya but basically yenkomo ne be gina eye ene free SHS ene double track ene ye mofra na addition no eye nsohwe no Nyoma Efima ba and a lot of interpretations are amount for the Toso. I don't know how you see this, but the Krepan say a warrant over 220,000 Mofra and an anchor the next step in terms of your educational ladder. He's a former minister, education. On Timin Cobra on commenting on this one. Your questions be brief at the manual. Inti Munina Mechina Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh Fishapa.
I feel what it is.
I feel say na be a come.
A bumpy.
Now, what do you need any boy my educational structure to eat than ye?
Sir, I was saying to me who said, and young when you know the two job. I was saying to me, Casawo, a damn.
Okay.
Media education minister day. 1%, but 2. You are one thing. My person. Me wajin chibi ak me che no dem and I say minister or bedini benya nkita hudie bi ni ahwe bi akoso because no you high sisi enyefe is na the Ghana economy adisua kofo ma Ghana nya na ka no enye ni papa
adisua kofo ma
ko Ghana nya se wo ufi university bi o Ghana na ya maintain standards na yeba certificate abeka ka abrochi the university fi Ghana certificate ba yensum kese
oh wow
bibia nobody is an island bibia ndene ho sa de oye bia no ewo bearing tamani eku school aye o level ni A level when say now 2 year O level o ha which we call A level Britain straight school we A level ha need to be jo university direct. So what happens is me. It's also a year so he'll be and sana.
So what it means is that your standards now if you try
Obi be catch us education be catch us in comparative analysis. Say as an examination board to be recognized with certificate straight for the next class. Maybe a lot is what they were for.
Yes, yeah, they know for Makaka. But okay, Minister Oshi, when you're building a bonko kakra, because there's a lot happening in the educational front.
Or the
other way around,
Minister, what's wrong?
Okay.
Emma may Chinaji called no every soa. But this or no being any no who said, my tree break ever coming. I'm an archery. The education said, when ya payphobia word I che would say no more than 2 for. What heard to pimpim, sir, and not to say me who said, Oma, I will say, I will support 2 minister. I won't say no man or and nasi. If it's a big year for fraud, and I will 2 minister for a day same piba. Say, O'Shea and some crazy, say Minister Cocasa. The local language. I was a cabinet about can say minister to include platform so because I just say the back cabinet. Na boo money ye castle. We have any dancer carry any dancer and the Nigeria for almost start local language a child school. Any inferior but
what father but because and can't come over additional ones in the so no ujina yele de we say yema yankasa kasa de atete no enya kwanya bra ya kira dia na asedi
on say me be minister for education na government policy ba kwa na wo kwa be 2 years and say nkola e wo KG I go see P4 yemfa omu krom kasa almost start here say mother tongue here umami kasa or kasa or the kasa with you say that could be a title with you therefore the mother tongue afi and then your friend shade a man for kwabontinam the mother tongue no say enye o Ghana into a very friend local language.
Okay.
But so we went out to the Bediana and your back. And so I need to be me minister. No? Traditional areas being you know, and I'm in South Ghana, Sabine in our streamer. Omucho letter. Sir Kasana, they share the woman potemon in your mukasa. See a trema, rock of fast mamba.
But it's still on. Even some of our Ghana indigenous, instructors here the Ghana language, you know.
This is me. That's what I shall say for you. I can talk back Ghana.
And Tokwa.
Yes.
Oh, free Ghana. Oh, Ukraine.
Oh, can is a Ghana and cry. Ghana and cry. It is a be how could drew Krubiso. Like I say, who not could your friend and painting qua. A war baby or Ghana. Kasa in painting quan local language, and a work room. Teacher for a work, yet they are transferring Ghana Education Service come painting quan and team painting. Civil servants, the public servants are because of our Benjamin, you want to cook one, or we had no hospitals, the doctor for the teacher for and team painting quan. And painting quan in your Kasa cry, I trouble be in painting quan, you be Kasa, okay. Sir, baby crown. But whether the painting question colana, so the local language.
But say Trimponi say, you be encourage young Cassia Mamacasa. Now you are Boamia Tiasem Nasi. Now your bank crying, yes, you can't cry. You quite sentimental. Yes, a
policy here fantastic. And the main boss said, what translated policy about action, real. What the policy
now come painting qua.
Now come painting qua. Whether the painting qua child was school. Enjoy.
A bed.
Can you kake?
A bed.
Teacher for the one in team painting kwa. And Kolana transfer into Oma menu papa number hospital, this school so painting kwa and team painting kwa. And painting kwa ni book be a actual painting kwa woman bit with the action Koladi. It will be that ko painting kwa school. Can have baby if you say Ghana languages no kasa di che Koladi no. Free Kwabena One so na what you say nkono me na me minister me de frafa be kan
o de frafra kasa kan
e kan na kasa bit me dia kwakoye ensohwe e show say kasa be for tewo Ghana ha no bebre ni e ho achọchọ di abekọ classroom ade okọ ya achọchọ di eti wo baby potem bebre wo Ghana ha sa kasa nkono no ye nka ba akokra wo.
Wow.
So
in effect, that agrina maybe a tosiniana.
A tosi baby. Our Ghana. I mean, professors actual books say local language and intimate Ghana. And part BT ni penim dear for back with any wole so yinka. But say on pay anything about colonialism. But language, it brings unity and fosters unity in the country. It's in Nigeria for over 200 languages as a bay. Only on supporting local language. Obviously, the Brofo. Say Brofo, any colonial language, we will. An international language. Of China, one of their biggest imports, the English language teachers. Are they? Utsaplema. And then Krubia Nam to be a Brofo. Computer. Yeah, Brofo. International business. It's Brofo no nye English kasa Brofo. That's English for the way we are to me say. India for a Brofo does it English for English. Okay, Australia for does it English for. Okay, Canada English. And do Canadians does it Ghana, but Africa, a lot of countries. It's English as a language, are evolving. Get the book share no kwane. Uko baby the pathway in the it was difficult to accept saying Kolano. For local language in Siade. Nemo would do P4 of a Brofme. And another second worst one. A colana time na ya wona na dream nyame aye na dream so odi be sua bibi no what dey also nka local language oduru p4 a odi fa local language nko de nim mu in transition after the teacher never check the brofu bi one
but even there's an advocacy say ye mra shi bi dwuma kasa ye ma yakwanya na ye ntimi enkansema epese kan yi e obrofu kasema ni wie peyo no mesre mra shi bi for me kasa sa da but said the bear yen so ye wo monten so ye beti de dodo na kanasema anka ye ma kwan ma ya kasa hodo no enya akwanya wo mra shi bi dwuma
e wo da yen na ebe from parliaments are existing in
akwanya no
nemo ye wiade de aka ho say ubenya obi am na chichi wa kobro fu mu
nti no problem be any ho
nti so ka ukrom kasa no ho wiwie na se unye obi wa na mfa nkobro fu mu obi abetia e ma honka e bra wa parliament da
well if you just joined that my main fa we twem say ahwefo na tiefo afen ma beka mo Dr. Opoku Prempeh dodo na friend napo ana ene na twetwe eye enkom no ti maybe we ne de me do be see hanam na afia sa to baby but you've been in the news because you've been an education minister before on this issue of double track and a free SHS so okay the finance minister now no done the 2026 budget now ko krata fa 131 nsem o kan o say sa na mon two free SHS ne double track no e hun sunsanso no anye papa ammo no afa nyina wo hwa ammo se utie sa nkomo we anya chefa ewo yen krata mu yen ngoma mu a na se wodwuma be nyina no wa hai wo kwan bi so
where
why o
where say no cray back up okay unti nya no cray mi nsanda da bia no cray back up the medical can say to me normal nkasa okahweje double track with me akasa me mbeso anya the double track by me free ministry no me jai double track
o free ministry no Mr. Cherubi maybe won't tell you forgive me but what the old channel see
me say me na me minister me dey double track by answer me free Ministry of Education no ma call cabinet me cabinet document I mean to be actual I could get approval from cabinet say you end the double track
but even this kind by 2026 budget talks about the double track bebe you 2027
if it's a month oh so because a pay for a two minister for another president for so man say ensua embusa ami ancheche mu a won't you say Ghana obia no be ya dwen say me share double track ase no ade ba ko pa be kama Ghana fo nyina hu say ye nye track A track B track 1 track 2 ye be call gold track any green track me bo mu say obi okọ school mfie nan say wo gold and green
gold ni green no
ego ejai da ejai 2021
hey former minister maybe Uber vice no say be bo ankomo ni that gold ni green ego
e tremu 2021
so what are we operating now and then you say
the final transitional calendar the first free SHS for a called pure transitional calendar double tracking count. First group about until 2025. What do you me say the first senior high school cohort are a called transitional calendar. The first group are a year 3 years, no years exams are results about and no more about this year.
That means not double track ni ho. Ye page mu akọ baby fufuro no. Any gold and green no. E ho sunsanso na ye hu ada.
Because the last batch of double track as implemented by schools kakra bi double track 2021. So if you want to say double track the last group a year double track, a year gold and green, every school 2024.
Okay, must have a question, but my main TV has double track. No? Say, Minister, President, then Akufo Minister Adom and Akufo His Excellency. Not the end of my person watching, the end of Mom Dubai.
Time about maybe a minister. Now, averagely, I qualify back secondary school every year. A year between 200 and 250,000 out of nearly 400,000 a try in Soheno. Because the Soheno cannot be bringing your fees in Chia. Couldn't even write the Soheno. And almost all back secondary school, that be bringing to me because of school fees, secretary, chair, normal P. Until your first year, 2017, the kind said, Mama pass BEC. Nina, you bet you on free SHS. This say Munya Kunta na English and Kuno. So Nyan Kunta na English and Kuno. Sako school na we call BEC. Near register of free, that's I
So, more Sajana, a Maho Quima, so Tron Sovena is in Tobema, which Miss Akosabia on Ecotron.
That is the first thing we did. And to 2017, we had BEC 2017 and Omoba Secondary School 2017. We had 9 English and now maths. You had you. You had the Mraba Omonko School. Yes, I can say BEC school fees. No, if you know, because fees a bit here. It is uncle, I know, so baby, my hair register free. That's the first. Safina, yes, I am. I said, what's fees 100%, so-called public school Aban Bichia. BEC 100% Aban Bichia, so-called public school. So first year I'm a minister and you're the buy. It's a coba say the Nkolana Dwaso school. Over 290,000 Nkolana call first year. It's a bar second year now called 2018. Na nkola say free SHS adanado kan e yampa ti o mo ti fe kra o went bi anko school lant bi anto aso no bebe ko back for register DEC
because no mabajia to say
and the pass ya we ro no pass ya o be ko school free 2017 for a true BEC 2018 for a BEC, I don't say from 2018 September Momoko Secondary School. Now for a Bob Bede and Ma. Yes, 2017 for now. We now call single track, so they're not gonna schools. You know, Yes, Kolana na Bana. You can say my single track not Dwaso. It moved 189,000 in your school in Ko. Oma passing so here.
Jinayi in Kwada Oma passing Soreno. Say me call the normal structure na
single track.
Yebekem. Do na inyasa kwenya.
And then my name pay you for organ education service. Tina say a dream was it. Yes, because I pass no way. Ebe official government policy.
O pass ya unya kwa.
Pass ya unya kwa. And then no school akusu dey. Why ban na ntina fi na why ban na school?
Because sabe no sana na oka. Say na why ban na ntina fi na why ban na school. But say no so nche for ade so be gu eko.
Iba. It no say no ma bebre at the same time. To 2018, the did kan year and said, now oko secondary schooler, ubiako term 1, term 2, term 3, send you be any. Right. You got 3 terms. They say, bet me man, agent Kolani be was secondary school, I'm be any quite there. This is a son 3 terms, no, near a semester.
And no short TDC.
PNCU. But can't make church you so that. Dede anya DSC.
E dede ni
bo say e dede bi bagana ha. Eso na wan no bi do sakana na be ma ya. Eso na nyɛ dokwe. Obi aye wu obi papa.
Wa na o ka o. We won no total stages no. Etimi bu fa so am ya bu ni pa nyina o.
Yes, you.
Anyway, obi anya akukuduru ameka say
the do ba ya da. Eso se bu bi ku bi.
Dokwe. Ya bu ni 42 total stations no. But it's a different scenario with
And
this.
yes, different scenario. The person can just say, did that a man for me call about say Koye Bonino. I don't just be crazy.
You didn't make a they didn't make a be.
And then make a choice say, did they babon TP? If you say, now, and some cherry for me, I imagine said the Ebeke be a monte. It's a double track. I was a year election. Then go where you want to say any year that it be good.
Because you see, teacher ne sukuu ni akwada no nkuta hudie bread do a wonya na de na makose saba na de green na de yellow na de pink some na
so answer na be education no. Every year education minister no bo mo 3 terms no bo mo 3 terms in training pa no munya 1,080 hours a year in the 3 terms osua de don hwe ya pim any of the otri
afimuni
na contact hours Brunibeka, which is the key determinant of quality of education.
say na obeku no
Ever? And then make culture. One who say double track Penya, one of the best universities in Ghana, if not the best. Ashasi University. Professor Diode Oka said Diode double track to buy no. Yen compona baso.
Obe endorse double track system.
Adija. When you objective, Bruniba Kwano Lancaster University so we share no okay the same thing. I say policies no me to be say kind. Not the way education da na. You know, they be, but over time, they to be full. There have been educations for the rest of their lives, all their lives. Professor Namwa Mensah, Reverend Afoble, Mr. Kwame Nsua.
To these pillars, especially Nsua, Fobi,
I died of Give Parfait. The extraordinary brains.
These are the brains that I'm
it is always an Apo Kasa and Apo Napo. Obi na aye adwuma no na Napo edi anim. It's not what could do. Some of them have worked for 40 years all their life. Yeah, educational commissioner and the president before what I say. For instance, so I had their corporate training college, Ghana Education Service Director General. Some go very too far. And that's also who say something for there. Now the education, they call it one another debate. Software no UUW. No vice chancellor. Who can go to UUW bomb abaso? Or see all the PhD. And no man no can say be improving Ghana education. Many ministers make me be improving. It's not mean kind of book down. Now Oshemia, you want my year in my UEW First university of UEW.
So Okalanda.
How many education ministers near Bomabaso during the time they were even in education?
Super fantastic. But
3 universities. 3 universities, remember? UEW.
UPSC,
remember? UEW, Bomabaso. I was the education minister. Or a teacher education university. UCC Bomabaso. Or a teacher education university. UPSA Bomabaso, or a professional university, education university. Why? Because we share professional societies are organized. Minister will pass you laws. Apart from Chartered Institute of Taxation, Chartered Institute of Banking, Chartered Institute of HR professionals, Chartered Accountancy for bills of parliament. So I interacted with all of them. And they knew what we were doing. And then look at that. So about contact hours, this semester be replace it at the 3 terms.
SOT.
It's at the increase. In the 3 terms, there 1,080 are pim everyone. In the 2 semesters that we conceived for double track, there are 1,134, 54 hours more in a year.
But
I didn't see the hours. I was never free.
Remember how your calendar works, but I was never a challenge because you had it. Dr. Oti.
And I make catchers say.
Dr. Oti.
And I make catchers say. Me no didn't come on. But the evidence never share what we say. We also double track. That's why make us say. We say. We want 2 minutes for we use some terms. We want to say. We say from 2021 admission. 2021 cohort into secondary school. 2021 January in the year 2024 because the year semesters. Minister the double track had been so successful because in the 2020 WASI results are double track for what's 5 months because of COVID. They been see that. West Africa, who's in English speaking West Africa, years as back. Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria, Gambia. 5 years as back. For the first time, top 3 students in the 2020 WASI were from Ghana. Subsequently, Ghana for now topping first 2, so 2025 in a minute. First 2 and now second and third. That's first 2, sir. Uyi and for the first time, I going to be calling record new 2023 SHS one. All those are colonial 8 ones, 8 ace, 8 ace, 8 ace, 8 ace, 8 ace. Ghana 88%, 411 out of 460.
With those 8 ace, no?
8 ace, ABC.
Operating under
a double track. They were the first double track cohort.
Do we have this record?
We have all these records there.
Because
why you call records there? Why you call records there?
Such a performance.
Yes. ABC that. Why you has all the records? Wait, ABC that West African House Council, all 3 top were Ghanaians. 88%. ABC that. Records that were white. ABC that.
Back to the hours. So calendar
it's a semester. What we did is say, yeah, my schools I started school time period early 1 hour and closed later 1 hour. So instead of starting school, we were starting 8 o'clock and then 1.12 and then 2. We started 8, 1.3. Now we started 7, 1.3, depending upon the school. That was the first thing. You share double track, and they said the teacher for chill because 2 streams nearby school. We employed nearly 9,000 teachers more. But we need your foreign Ghana and the Ghana Education Service.
Who engage the service of how many teachers? 9,000.
9,000 only for double track.
9,000.
Yes. Only for double track.
Yeah, no better done.
Anyway, 8,872 to be precise.
On record.
On record. To fill the vacancies in the schools that were doing double track. But Mr. Carson, they told me the number of schools in Ghana a year double track, even what was less than 50% of the secondary schools that existed. As education is like, yes, secondary school behind here double track, only 350 and unless near double track. Put it on record. I also check it. Those schools that here double track because Ghana from independence I buy and started exams. Secondary school the Akolano place will choose to go. Yeah, baby or tea. So you say
baby or pay. Baby or tea.
Yeah, baby or tea. And 2 because and yeah, baby schools ni warning na schools papa ni warning na we baby Akolano titi. It be no name say Ghana most of our best schools are in Cape Coast. Or majority of our best schools. It's Ghana Education Service for friend grade A schools and category 1 schools. Category 1 schools. Ninja have about 55. Ghana. In Kolano do happen so much. So when we did the analysis, we needed about 300 and something schools. In Kolano I would say a double intake, and I say increase the intake. It is what all double tracks sought to do was that normally if as achievement of 40 per 1,000. But because in Kolano, we said 1,189,000 in a child only place. It is a better than achievement of 40 be increase, Prempeh increase, Fancy Money increase, Wesley Girls, Holy Child, Archbishop Porter, Presec, we call Presec Medina, Presec, was. Our schools will very no more increase. CB increases our schools by nearly 50%, between 40 and 50%. Near the double track about. Note 2017 for that, and now to buy a June first, how many years of 2018? Only that single track. 2018 for that, Omu school subsequently, and they call double track. So what else?
What you wanna say?
You're increasing contact hours. Yeah, time now they call Parliament. Koji $500 million. Well, G approval for 1.5 billion for Ghana Get Fund. No budget in tranches. No much will be answer. 500 for secondary interventions, 500 for basic school interventions, 500 for university interventions.
So those are the infrastructure types.
That is why Ghana Education Trust for me funded 4,000 structures in schools, mainly secondary schools.
That figures no crown. You say this current administration may dispute you. Figures, remember, but you remember because well, Sikana Moko J, but some of us, because Oko was who that kind of expansion. But remember, you talked about a transitional. Yes, starting double track. We call cabinet the infrastructure deficit, the teacher deficit we needed to solve. I don't know how present your cabinet because you knew deficit. It's a crash program. That is why I make actual say in 2020, before I admitted 2020 students about 2021, I could go back to cabinet and I approve. I'll make them a copy. So we should end double track because schools now near double track, and the students now near double track, and no infrastructure to accommodate them in single track. And it is like the 500 Kachimota now 1,000 won't be accommodated. The available places for 500 every year. That's why I could go back to cabinet. That's why I was telling you that when I went to cabinet, there were only 2 schools. St. Bruce is near another school. School me and Aka. I don't want to be free double track that year. But because the program was so successful, and I'll tell you why. Cabinet G2. Cabinet G2. There's a cabinet approval. I can give you a copy. G2. When I came back, the new minister that went decided that if we have been able to do it because of COVID, let's do 2021-2 as double track. And then start what we call a transitional calendar. Okay, so in doing that, instead of maintaining a chibota, maybe 1,500 increase here, because we extended for a year, we could then admit many more students. No, but the extension based on the Juma now no team clearly apart from St. Louis and other school there was no need for that extension. So there was no need. If there was no need, but there was COVID. Okay. And we're practicing distancing in community hospital. Okay. So even though there was no need, we had a health scare that the state said, yes, we are extending for another year. That is why in 2021, double track was extended. So the last cohort of 2021 for the buy. We exams 2024. Some schools now over forward 2021. Because of COVID. COVID in we exams 2024. I'm also the last one, the 2024. A close chapter. A close chapter on double track. How now more transitional calendar. So in double track, final year for, first year for, second year for Omanhene school, but reduced numbers. Because the actually party it's Omuko school, but reduced numbers. Asante. It was a creative space, no be at school. It even though you're increasing achievement at 1,500 in the first gold track group, only 750 in the whole school at a particular time. Yeah, refer to gold track because he had war. It's a trip. And I mean, double track came with gold and green. True or false? And okay. Kubusa Omanhene school training. I said no be a gold, that no be a green. Kubusa Omanhene school say Bibisa or gold degree or gold degree because they are still under the transitional team. So how was it operating? That is why maybe a Kabonu Hoka said the transitional calendar
wasn't fit for purpose because you say in the transitional times, now a whole period back class back home.
And they normally access for a year deliberations and behind the
I
scenes
wasn't in the
conversation.
Ministry of Education, but what I'm trying to, I left.
Yes, and Papa, you had left. Then that comes the new minister.
The comes the new minister, and we are transitional
Yeah.
team. But the transitional team, though, the key thing is that at any time, team, one whole year group in this school. It's the only first and second year for the all.
So then, what Kabonu says, maybe there's a certain.
Yes, I can't dispute certain things he said, but certain things you said is obviously wrong. Obviously wrong. So I can say, why for the new exams, 2025, why he has always used a criteria reference assessment. And that is the assessment they still use.
But I know he's your friend. But how did he say, no education, or DHS?
I'm just stating the fact. Kabonu has said his fact that he knows. He made it sure said 5% the best pass here, only 5% the benya. No, that is BEC exam, a native reference assessment.
So that's different from
what C exams. That's totally different. Okay, I can. I say we can. Check it. What C is the criterion reference. BEC is a normative reference. Two different. BEC in a you actual exams no matter the number of students I bet you number. In the moment benya 1, in the moment benya 2, in the moment the percentage benya 1.
Is it that international acclaimed standards?
And then one of the many standards in assessments in education. Education has many assessments. It's a time of COVID by also now you contemplate your Ghana has a bit trap. Yeah, wasi. It's a Kenya, continuous assessment in Form 5.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things. In UK, they used a continuous assessment in placing the children in school. They didn't use any board exam.
In the continuous assessment, it will be here, Sabre.
And Koran schools were anti so much, and now to be so much.
But just as a more in your mouth,
BEC as I still
and no, that's
Adom President Kufon's son, President Rollins or nearby and son is a normative reference assessment. Norm reference, that's what they call it.
It is
if you don't know, you so here you decided that. So when Benya 1 is only 4% of the total number.
It's been taken, that decision already.
That decision to be taken. Yeah, sure. Okay, graph that. You find the bell curve. To see. It's 4%. The 4% the two maybe a color 5 for the organ and a core into the top 4%. Color 5 the 1.
Then it varies. What it means therefore is that said Neminya 90. Next Neminya sister, I can still fall into a category of 1.
1, yes. Depending upon group.
So group ni more than mono. The best student as of maybe a nene year 60. At the the best student here 89.
89.
Wow.
That's why I said Kabonu is wrong. But anyway, so I want to put on record that from 2021 Urban, especially years of 2024, they were not double track students. They were transitional calendar students. They were not gold track and green track. And as we speak, there's no gold track and green track in any secondary school in Ghana.
As a former Minister of Education, what will be your response? Because a few way in Sohrena and Kwadana Diaba Montino, the integrity and credibility of the results, and Adan Wedino. What will be your response?
When you talk about integrity, Ghana Education Service Professor used to hear. I'm sorry, I went to Professor Davis, the teacher education curriculum near Omanhene, but he got it totally wrong. Because I did not NDC for cancer and Quran pass a passing.
But is it? But is it?
No, it's and Kulani failed. The only reason they can assign to was that but
we more for a reason. It's not just not keke. Almost say, Koda to pass questions at the moment. The past question, so 2.5 teacher for a lot has gone on in this country when it comes to education.
There is no examination board, professional or academic, that doesn't have past questions, but I would say there's none.
So it didn't contribute to Nkwadano.
I'm just saying, because of the war. Law school to say final exams. Okwa, more questions are you busada da umdisuande.
Your form 5, your 6 form.
And
then you taught near
yes. Past questions have been put in books. Any examiner's reporter who was scouting revolution put to be. Because past questions now they be preparing for the exams.
But who contributed?
What we said, let's say, what I decided as a minister, approved by my cabinet, is that here for man ADCK Tobino. Name Charles for man and top.
So you support them.
So
let's all get the questions.
Before I became the minister, Professor Nano Opoku has started something. At the end of every week,
our vice president,
our current vice president, before I became the minister, he had started something. When he realized that in Kolane they employed West Africa examination examiners report and markers to teach a cohort of teachers. So then Kolane answer our questions. It brings to you. Once they say West Africa examiners, I read this report. It tells you Kolane so they were already putting the teachers together. I'm in Kumasi Anglican Secondary School every year. You have 3 teachers now selected maths, literature, especially the 4 core subjects. And Kulana answered and meet CMI results nearby. So they train the teachers, and the teachers go and train in a cascading factor other teachers. So that they are at length at the same level with examiners, how they are asking their questions and how they are answering. I came to meet it. What I did, again, with West Africa Exams Council, the West Africa Exams Council, they present questions questions. Now, for the 10 years, would they buy any answer in the examiner's report so that we could give it to every student. So, students, so no one is trying to or questions now. Say the answers it here, say the examinations, to prepare for the exams. Say, we can't say, hey, this is for you. What can I say? I'm out for printing questions and the social atlas. And then people for the never power.
No, it was a NDC.
Okay. I'll leave that. I'll leave that. If the questions printed, MPP is not the first government crowd. But we ensured that every examination student, 3rd year, our year exams, will have access to the last 10 years questions, any answers, any examiner's report, so that the individual training could happen.
It is in no way affecting the integrity and credibility.
Not at all. Not at all. That's why I started. We say there is no professional or academic examination in the world. University, Harvard, MIT. Students have access to previous questions, and they use it for discussions among themselves to prepare themselves for exams. So what is wrong?
Okay, so
we want medical school. Now you gather, but enough before you see there. You gather every past questioner. I will resist and start a medical school because it also directs you to what to learn. Because no one book and your book be a kind of what is subject be as book we are on shared trigonometry, but book for the church trigonometry. Be what book could be excellent based upon topics. Maybe a topic we book when they are excellent. Maybe a generally book we are better than book we. But some book now saying quadratic equations stones and cousins. It's far better than any other book.
Have we paid attention to educational reforms now?
I'm just coming. That's why I said you need time, my brother. So that was the 3rd intervention a year. The 4th intervention a year because of double track. And Kolana be bring about to say, we bring free extremely strong background. So what did we do? We started what we call academic improvement allowance. Who said we buy we catch schools in here say we will be for PTA ti akola bi ntina school. Eti PTA fees na near no Many heads they see a meeting, including in free SHS package. And then the director says, Sikano, young found motivated teachers, no one find share and color of a lower or below average backgrounds of Maba school. So the teachers were in the school and giving extra tutorials to the students. Fourth point I've told you can cross-check. Motivation, incentives to teachers. It's not only the teachers, the heads in dialogue with us didn't give it to only teachers. They said, more kitchen and so I say movie. Because now the school was running the whole year. Holiday in them. We did it. So we were able to employ more kitchen staff. So we did the incentives, macro academic. When we got to maths, now Professor B or Tech, Omanhene maths book, explaining better the principles in mathematics, using worked examples. We gave every student in secondary school a copy of a maths textbook because maths was our weakest link, and maths is the fundamental basis of every further education.
Me ba me
What is that failing maths?
BBSc.
Yeah,
because that time I may suggest to you, say, hey, the intimate reviews are there where a colabina na mass or their war form. Nanka has say bit my cousin, and your response.
We A level.
A level. Okay. Your response.
There were 3 A-level subjects. There were 3 A-level subjects. And there was a 4th paper called general paper. Now they work for Why do we want to belittle education in Ghana?
We are not, but maybe
the standards for which we are setting is applicable around the world. Yes, sir. You see, when it comes to going to university, it is never year-based.
Okay. Say Basa will go to school for one.
The work as we want to teach you. A bit really 50 years, no, I got started first year university. A bit real university, no, I drop it out, no, I saw about 30 years, a baby. The flexibility of a university educational system is not like secondary school and primary school.
Age now. The more be am
now universities don't need mature entrance.
Yeah.
What is the mature entrance for primary school? So what is the mature entrance? What is the mature entrance for junior high school? What is the mature entrance for senior high school?
I see.
As a university, they have mature students.
Flexibility.
And no crowd in the qualification we are.
Yes, you could
If you say you should demonstrate say baby are open. Oh yeah, it's more area. Now they catch you and they put it on record. MBA is not a recognized second degree university. No university. The second degrees that are qualified, they're masters, either MSc or MA or MPhil. Because MBA whole concept, that's why Oxford they Cambridge won't start the MBA 10 years, 50 years ago. The whole MBA concept started in America. Where because of the financial markets and the dot-coms and they were brilliant university students who were inventing and doing things first year, no jai or folly out, no, or setting up through a venture capital, or setting up a Juma. So yeah, sacrifice to bring them back into the classroom was not about qualification. So my experience in a certain field, it's the MBA, Masters in Business Administration, and I'm what's that? MBA, Masters in Business Science, and now Business Arts.
Wow.
I mean, what the country MBA, a Business Administration. You must be in something. It was thought of, done for people who were already doing their own businesses and things, who needed to come back for the love of a university degrees, especially when the bust happened in America.
Maminu you get fun because I change me and start sharing enough.
Oh, okay. Double track.
No, because we should get the double track results. No impact.
Oh, sir.
Impact to make
me results for her.
But my main kai I should phone it for say Dwaso Nsem Adom 106.3 FM and Igusu Ayeti. Dr. Opoku Prempeh, former energy minister, former education minister, former member of parliament, Mention South and and come on. I know your text message to Donna about your social media handles. Say every woman say country budget Brenna that can kind a day amount. So dog infrastructure, but maybe you person you can.
I saw the infrastructure.
Yeah,
yeah, planning double tracking.
Yeah.
We planned against teacher support. And the teachers also employed. Because the 8,872,000 teachers more we employed. We also started comprehensive infrastructure assignment to ensure that we can get ourselves. Because double track has always been a temporary measure. No. Its conception was to solve the problem. Why ban and why ban school? To give us time to build, to give us time to employ teachers to fill the gap. So no child left. I would think of no child left behind. That is the real explanation of no child left behind.
Yeah, kasa me kahon asif said.
Before I make
the dog remember me. I want maybe yeah kasa asif said. Bra double track by no na ebi bia ehwehwensi from. Today bia da oye obi as all the na say double track give am power. Na e bit ma hwesa within that time period.
Me retro. So the calculation say since 2022 any double track was school.
That's correct.
2021 double track was to ensure that we don't break COVID protocols to the extent of the kakra. But even in 2021 January, 2020, I've gone to cabinet to say that we can end double track. So catch I explain. And the first batch of the transitional calendar that came after double track, where there was no longer gold and there was no longer green track. So you maybe here. Double track came with gold and green. And this way here,
yeah.
They say one go school don't move.
And go green gold.
Yeah, green gold. It's the first year for the second year for that third year for TV. They were been complaining about the timetable.
Okay.
It's that many ministers know here said they have to build infrastructure in these same schools to end the transitional track, not the double track.
Okay, to end the transitional
track,
not the double track.
Because there's no double track.
Expired 2021.
2021.
Oh. Okay.
So we stopped gold and green as far as 2021. I told you we were secondary school beer, they would say gold track or other green track. Because we enjoy that.
What dance here anyway?
But that's the say subject Nipadi Mui. Woman no managing Ghana education services no more. Woman no be in charge of quality in Ghana education services no more. In fact, they are even publishing papers. I think that more radio stations are now back on Dr. Tando Kasai, Dr. Opoku, Professor Opoku Adom, you know. Ministers to be say in team for job. No, a minister or a deputy minister. Dr. Duchum now also Busano say in Colano from 2022, gold track and green track.
No one.
So what the answer no who's the make an idea? Okay.
So you have this.
That's why I make us.
You have this table. And yeah,
me analysis. Oh yeah, who found the enquire time our analysis. What you say? Because in your entire system say education. So start point in ya or end point is going to be
any papa.
And the results the buy ya Kofodi Abubu. Because far results from 2015. Because far results from 2015.
2015.
2015, 2016. Say 2015, 2016. Now, Professor J. No, deputy. Now, President John Dramama. 2015, President
Mama.
About 2012 to 2016.
Oh, okay, yes. So if we have
maybe 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 years.
Okay. 2015.
President Mahama.
Okay.
Now, single track. That's what you want to know. No results, you know. English, only 45.
About English.
English are 45. Oko integrated science are 28% in the past year. Oko maths are 32% in the past year.
Maths.
Oko social studies are 57% in the past year.
That's what year? No.
2015.
Because I want to check it as well. 2015. Okay.
2015. Mumpe copy man. 2016. 2016, English 51.6 the pass, 48 and a pass integrated science, maths 33, social studies 34, 54. Well, it took MPP manifesto. Let me call them. Most the it was a Ghana mathematics friendly country because math had been a bane for a very long time.
More social contract.
It's part of the MPP manifesto 2016 that I inherited as a working Bible for the Ministry of Education. Okay, manifesto, we talked about STEM. It's by it did not people when say the STEM be. Okay, so manifesto, you can Wi-Fi in schools to help in our digital education. We by making sure that secondary school, Ghana Education Service, all over the country, are connected through Wi-Fi services. So that digitalization cannot be have digital haves and digital have-nots. What you say? But one of the problems was maths. It had been 2015, 32.
2015, mathematics
32. 2016, 33. 2017, 41. 2018, 38.
2018 or under which kind of
They just we do also and the me ball. One oh change
yes.
What we say
Yes.
2017, 2018. Now the minister Martin
Aha.
so they pay farm back and the boy be charged. But the bar can
Because per one date that was here
2018 for almost started secondary school 2016. They were all single track, but they were still having the problems for which we came to solve to make the results better. And those problems, and the list, academic intervention, examination support, teacher support, infrastructure building. Well, in 2017, we could hear results. No, because the Opoku Prempeh now 41. Let me engage two. Because we got two more secondary school that
the spillover.
It's minister be over 3 years for secondary school only effect on the year. The only year will start coming out from a badge and okay, say free SHS. You start 2017 year group. If you see then all the 3 years, I'm going to say there be you start to her. You better results have
You are in full control now. A year 2017, 20. What did you do?
So when we came, and I mean started intervention. Our first batch was secondary school 2017 September. West Africa exams school. And yeah, this are academic intervention by for teachers. And you try, you won't be able to PT. PT and you convert here, they can free SHS package no. In the year academic intervention. And you chair, even dining hall, business the cooks extra incentive to make sure that very good. Sometimes now you could extra financial clearance for 8,872,000 states. Sometimes when they start to cheer, supply mass, core mass for comprehensive mass education, textbook, because the university tech professors with a church. Sometimes you continue. Professor Nano Pokwajimai teaching support teachers in the theory of examiners but chair maths
all these interventions.
Faith one any examination question and answers including the examiner's reporter I gave to every student.
So with these interventions
the first group actually 5 months as was a 2020 group.
So let me check on records now because
so when you come to 2020 records 2020
okay, so 2020 under now you can see some winning okay. So you are doing 57.34 English language, you are doing integrated science 52.53, mathematics 65.71, social studies 64.31.
That was the first time You might supply every secondary student with 4 core textbooks for all these 4 subjects. Because for these 4 subjects, no, and the university and the tertiary institution be it's a bit bad, no. Now, and this is for the latter part, no more starting year 10 maybe for secondary schools.
Yes, yeah.
Interventions.
This is interesting. Just within a minute now, Fiasani, Matthew Opoku Prempeh at Yen Commons,